A Gauteng mother alleged that her child was kicked out of the Crowthorne Christian Academy because of her dreadlocks. Now, the family alleges that they were violently removed from the Midrand school premises. Gauteng Education Spokesperson Steve Mabona joins me now live to help us make sense and get a thorough understanding of this. Steve, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. The Crowthorne Christian Academy has really caused outrage, of course, especially after this video has emerged. It's almost like deja vu for South Africans, a reminder of outdated hair policies in schools. What's your reaction?
Thank you very much to our viewers. Look, it's unacceptable what we saw on the video footage. Hence, we have sent our officials to go to the school. They've been interacting with them. We have another engagement today. We are going back there just to assist them to understand their own policies, which is quite clear that dreadlocks are natural hair. And according to the code of conduct, there's nothing wrong with dreadlocks. So we will then be working very closely with them just to make sure that, such code of conduct is implemented. And on the other score, there's nothing wrong with extensions as well. Because at some point when we had this hair problem, we interacted with the independent schools. We even went to an extent of holding a summit where we discussed that these are the elements that they need to look at. People must not be obsessed by hair. Focus on the classroom and make sure that our learners are taught. So those are the things that we'll be looking at in making sure that that policy of theirs is also refined to be acceptable.
I'm glad you mentioned it and refer to it as a hair problem, because it's not the first nor the second or even the third time disagreements over pupils' hairstyles have erupted in South African schools. In fact, this is such a heated and sensitive topic that in some instances parents accused education authorities of racism, discrimination. What is the approach? Is there a blanket approach? I mean, you speak about going in and assisting them in understanding their own policy. And, of course, how have you handled this issue since the times of the hair problem, the controversy at Pretoria High School for Girls?
No, you will recall that we had to go back to assisting all the public ordinary schools when coming to their code of conduct. Because that's where they would put all this, clause to say this is how a learner must present themselves in terms of uniform, in terms of, their presentability and all those things. So we had to assist the SGBs to say, before we have a code of conduct, we have a constitution, which you all need to adhere to. We have a schools act, which you all need to adhere to. So we can't go with something that is contrary to what people's rights are. And we managed to deal with that in the public space. And then we went into the independent schools because we still had pockets of those discrimination and assisted them. And they reviewed their code of conduct. So here there's an element of naughtiness from these officials that are seen on the video footage. So hence we said we're going to be fast-tracking the process of interacting with the ownership so that the necessary action is taken actually against these officials.
Interacting with the ownership will be important because on top of this issue are questions about the school's legality and registration. It's emerged that the school is in fact not registered with your department, the Gauteng Department of Education, making it illegal. What can you tell us?
No, their illegality, it's more on them relocating, moving to a new, site without informing us, also changing their name. So that's the illegality part. But when we come into curriculum, they are fine because they are a registered school in a different name. So that's why we said we need to interact with them. Our officials will be at the school today. That's why we are saying we want to assist them because we can't be punitive. If a school, the interest of a learner, it must always be prioritized beyond anything. Yes. So if there are things to remedy, we need to remedy. But if there are things that we can't remedy, then that's when we will normally shut down and place those children in other schools. But with this one, we can still manage. If they can't comply, then they need to go back to the previous location.
The interests of the learner at the moment are under jeopardy. We understand that the school has now closed indefinitely. What does this mean for the pupils?
that's why we decided that our officials must continue and go back there so that we take those, decisions to say, from here, how are we going to manage this challenge, and so that parents can be in a better position to understand on how we're going to be moving forward, because that's where we really need to resolve this and make sure that learners are in the classroom. So our interaction with the school probably will yield positive results.
Very well. Thank you so much for that discussion. Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson Steve Mabona giving us an update there on the Crowthorne Christian Academy in Midrand following the uproar over the hair issues.